We seem to have had quite a few films appearing in the last couple of weeks. Mindhorn, of course, is still showing, and a couple of other things have appeared, but now sidecar documentary Three Wheeling has been premiered. It was at the Villa. Manx Radio's Marion Kenny and Joe Pack were there to gauge the reaction from riders and specially invited guests. I don't suppose you'd have anything about sidecars on the island without David Molyneux being involved, because he is synonymous with sidecars on the island. He explains why he got involved in this.
They asked me if they could fly on the wall, and I said, yeah, but you're going to hear some pretty rude stuff.
Well, I'm really surprised that you even allowed them to do it, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, but, when you see somebody as passionate as Chris is, he's obviously got the finance to back up his conviction in this movie, and fair play to him. I just thought, well, see other people's passions, I've got a passion for motorcycle racing, and he was obviously passionate about doing what he wanted to do and set out and did it, and so I've got to take my hat off to him, for that.
David Molyneux. Well, of course, a lot of these films are all about what you produce on the screen, the way you produce it, the filming of it. So the cameramen, of course, are very much involved in the finished product.
We had a great team for it. I mean, it was a really intense few weeks, but it was amazing to get that up close to these sidecar guys, because the community they have, they're so close-knit, and they're a brilliant laugh as well. But, I mean, they are brave, they are seriously brave, and, massive respect for them after spending that time with them.
All the participants must have bought into this, but when something went wrong, your cameras were straight in there, looking under the fairing. It must have felt really very intrusive to do that, and perhaps at some points not that welcome.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had to just get in there with the guys, I mean, a lot of them were just, they were in the zone, and we kind of got into a rhythm, the camera crew, after a few days where you've got to be intrusive, but you've got to also be just out of their way. Yeah, you've got to be invisibly intrusive, And we built up a good rapport with these guys, We knew them, we got chatting to them, and they were quite happy for us, as long as we managed to stay out of their way, which we did. It was hard, there was a lot going on. But, that's really what made some of the shots, was being able to get right in close with them, close and personal, but not so close that they were tripping up over us.
Marion Kenny, who's at the evening talking to one of the cameramen. Well, Benjamin Binns was a passenger for the driver, Australian Dwight Bear, who lost his life last year. He explains what it was like to see him ride again.
It was very tasteful. He did it very well. It was a tough time, but unfortunately, like I said in the film, things like that happen, and we all know. You just, and like Tim Reeves says in the film, you hope it just doesn't happen to you. Unfortunately, I was involved in the accident. I managed to survive, which is obviously a bonus for me, but it's something I've got to live with for the rest of my life. And there's not a day goes by I don't think about him.
And that is the first time that you've seen the film, so when you were sat there, did it bring up a lot of emotion this evening?
Yeah, it was weird, because it was good to see him, on the bike, but obviously sad as well. But he always said he was living his dream, and he lived his dream. Unfortunately, death doesn't have an age, and he got taken too soon, and we won't see what he could have been, but I believe he would have been very good at the TT.
And his legacy now lives in the film Three Wheeling.
Well, yeah, no, that's it. Like I say, Chris did a great job, and the whole crew, of getting him into the film in a very tasteful manner. It was good to see.
Well, what did the audience watching the film think?
I've been coming across to Isle of Man for a number of years, and I've always watched the sidecars, but this just, I've always, secret ambition is to actually be a passenger at one point, just to scare me a wee bit more.
And does this propel you on to want to do that still?
Well, I'd still love to have a shot at that. I don't think on the TT course, mind you.
No. But how do you think it brought that sport to life, and do you think that it will capture something that hasn't been done before in terms of, the three-wheel outfits?
Well, I sincerely hope it expands the sport, brings it more to people, because they're all into their F1s, they're all into their superbikes, and the sidecars are always a sort of poor second or third place, so hopefully this will propel it up into to those sort of realms as well.
I thought it was fabulous. I'm a motorcyclist, and this is another area of motorcycling that there's sort of like grey that people don't really appreciate. We see it all the time on the island, TT, But to now bring it to other people who know about it but don't know it to the in-depth sort of way that the picture is now brought out, that's great.
Well, there at the screening was Member for Tourism and Motorsport at the Department of Economic Development, Rob Collister. What's its involvement?
Their involvement was just to support the film. It's a fantastic achievement. I know that the freewheeling film is going to be a success. I've seen it 2 times now. And I think the DED are proud of the production. I think it's been using local talent as well as putting the Isle of Man back on the map, similar to what they did with Closer to the Edge. And I really hope that people of the island will see the film. It is a true production of good quality, and I think it does show the Isle of Man in a good light.
Logistically, how difficult was it? I mean, not in terms of filming it, but just making it all happen at such a fraught and frantic and busy time.
Well, it's not for the DED to take the credit. This is the production of the three-wheeling team, and to make sure that the film is able to achieve the goals and where it's striving to be. So it's not the DED giving the financial support. It's just removing the barriers.
That's three-wheeling. It's going to be shown over the period of the duration of TT 2017.